What is up, DS3TV, and we are back for another video. This one is the history of Russia Part 4. So we are getting into this again. Let me get my headphones. And yep. Also, subscribe to the channel. Want to get to 1K by my birthday. Also, follow my Twitch channel, because I play games on there. I play games on there a lot, and also that's how I get the research for my game reviews. So if you guys want to see how I get the research for my game reviews, I'm gonna be playing video games on there. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So yeah, tune into that. Also, join the Discord server, link in the description too for that. And let's get into the video. You guys already know who this video is by, Epic History TV. We love this channel and history, and this is History of Russia Part 4. Let's get into it. Play.
1825. Victory over Napoleon had confirmed Russia's status as a world power. But there was discontent within Russia amongst intellectuals and army officers, some of whom had formed secret societies to plot the overthrow of Russia's autocratic system. When Emperor Alexander was succeeded, not as expected by his brother Constantine, but by a younger brother Nicholas, one of these secret societies used the confusion to launch a military coup. But the Decembrist revolt, as it became known, was defeated by loyalist troops, and the ringleaders were hanged.
Oh, wow.
Others were sent into internal exile in Siberia. This was to become a common sentence for criminals and political prisoners in Tsarist Russia. Nicholas went on to adopt an official doctrine of orthodoxy, autocracy, and nationality. The state was to rest on the pillars of church, Tsar, and the Russian national spirit, a clear rejection of the values of European liberalism. In the Caucasus, border clashes with Persia led to a war which ended in complete Russian victory. The Treaty of Turkmenchai forced Persia to cede all its territories in the region to Russia and pay a large indemnity. Russian support for Greece in its war of independence against the Ottomans led to war between Russia and the Ottoman Empire. Russian victory brought further gains in the Black Sea region. A Polish revolt, led by young army officers, was crushed by Russian troops. Alexander Pushkin, Russia's greatest poet, was shot in a duel, and 2 days later died from his wound.
Hey, that's how you know it was a long time ago. Who gets shot in a duel nowadays? So yeah, you can definitely tell that was in the definitely like 1800s.
Nicholas sent troops to help put down a Hungarian revolt against Austrian rule. The emperor's willingness to help suppress liberal revolts won him the nickname the gendarme, or policeman, of Europe. Russia's first major railway was opened, connecting St. Petersburg and Moscow.
That brings me to ask this question. What nickname would you guys want if you ruled your own country? What nickname would you guys like to have? Because I mean, policeman of the policeman doesn't sound that bad. You put down a lot of revolts, so I mean, I guess nobody could revolt against you.
Alexander Herzen, a leading intellectual critic of Russia's autocracy, emigrated to London, where he continued to call for reform in his homeland. He'd later be described as the father of Russian socialism.
You might have just heard a firework. If you did, the reason I'm shooting this video at 4 o'clock in the morning was to not have that interrupt the video. And that did not work, so you might hear some fireworks. It's fine.
The Ottoman Empire, now known as the sick man of Europe, reacted to further Russian provocations by declaring war. The Russian Black Sea Fleet inflicted a crushing defeat on the Turks at the Battle of Sinope. But Britain and France, alarmed at Russia's southern expansion and potential control of Constantinople, declared war on Russia.
Oh.
The Allies landed troops in Crimea and
That's
besieged...
odd. So this had to be like the first time that France and Britain worked together in a war.
The naval base of Sevastopol, which fell after a grueling year-long siege. In the Baltic...
I'm saying that because they're kind of been enemies for so long, and plus we just got done watching the Napoleonic Wars.
British and French warships blockaded the Russian capital, St. Petersburg. Russia was forced to sign a humiliating peace, withdraw its forces from the Black Sea, and put on hold plans for further southern expansion. Nicholas I was succeeded by his son, Alexander II. The Crimean War had exposed Russia's weakness. The country lagged far behind its European rivals in industry, infrastructure, and military power. So Alexander, unlike his father, decided to embrace reform. The most obvious sign of Russia's backwardness was serfdom. According to the 1857 census, more than a third of Russians were serfs, forced to work their master's land with few rights, restrictions on movement, and their status passed down to their children. They were slaves in all but name. In 1861, Alexander II abolished serfdom in Russia. He was hailed as the liberator. But in reality, most former serfs remained trapped in servitude and poverty. Alexander's...
So kind of like Abraham Lincoln. And if you don't know about Abraham Lincoln and the whole Emancipation Proclamation, because I mean, it didn't do anything but just say that they can't enslave us. So, I mean, yeah, there's that, but yeah, so you should probably read more on, how Lincoln did not want to do the Emancipation Proclamation at all. Like, he really didn't care to do it. He just decided to do it because it was on their way that Britain wasn't going to get into the war. So, yeah.
Reforms would continue with the creation of the Zemstva, provincial assemblies with authority over local affairs, including education and social welfare. In the Far East, Russia forced territorial concessions from a weakened China, leading to the founding of Vladivostok, Russia's major Pacific port. Another uprising by Poles and Lithuanians against Russian rule was once more crushed by the Russian army. In the Caucasus, Russia's long and brutal war against local tribes came to an end, with their leaders swearing oaths of loyalty to the Tsar. In Central Asia, the Russian Empire was gradually expanding southwards. Russian armies defeated the Emirate of Bukhara and the Khanate of Khiva, and by the 1880s, Russia had conquered most of what was then called Turkestan, today the countries of Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. Imperial rivalry in Central Asia between Russia and Britain led to the Great Game, a 19th century version of the Cold War. Centered on Afghanistan, diplomats and spies on both sides tried to win local support, extend their own influence, and limit the expansion of their rival, while avoiding direct military confrontation. Russia decided to sell Alaska to America for $7.2 million. Many Americans thought it was a waste of money. Gold and oil were only discovered there much later. Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace was published, still regarded as one of the world's greatest works of literature. The late 19th century was a cultural golden age for Russia, a period of literary greats and outstanding composers. Russia, in support of nationalist revolts in the Balkans against Ottoman rule, went to war with the Ottoman Empire once more. Russian troops crossed the Danube, then with Bulgarian help, fought to secure the vital Shipka Pass. Then they launched a bloody 5-month siege of Plevna in Bulgaria. Russia and her allies finally won victory, with their troops threatening Constantinople itself. But at the Congress of Berlin, Russia bowed to international pressure and accepted limited gains in a settlement that also led to independence for Romania, Serbia, Montenegro, and later Bulgaria. Meanwhile, within Russia, radical political groups were increasingly frustrated by Alexander II's limited reforms. There were several failed attempts to assassinate the emperor, but as he prepared to approve new constitutional reforms, he was killed in St. Petersburg by a bomb thrown by members of the People's Will, one of the world's first modern terrorist groups.
Huh. That's pretty interesting.
This act of violence would lead only to a new era of repression. Did you know all epic history?
That was pretty good, and I did not know that all Epic History TV videos are just made by one person. So that is something I did not know. And yeah, that was a very good video. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We're at 650. We're past 650 subscribers. So thank you guys for that, and thank you guys for subscribing. Also, subscribe to the channel to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal by my birthday, is to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully we get it. And yeah, let's get that goal. And also, follow the Twitch and join the Discord server, because it'll be fun. It's funner with more people in there. So yeah, talk to you guys in the next video, and peace. Oh my gosh. It's like